I just want to say thanks for those who watched the video. I'm surprised my first one's gotten like 70 something views, which I think is just awesome. I'm really surprised actually. I didn't think that it would it would blow like that. So thanks to everybody who watched the boyfriend role play that I did. So that's really awesome. Thanks for those who commented, who subscribed, who liked it. It's pretty cool. So anyway, I got so pumped up, I decided I'm going to do one for you guys tonight too. So here we are. And yes, if it's dark, I mean it to be. It's a little after 8 o'clock. And I want to tell you guys a true ghost story. Now, I realize, ghost stories are scary and people don't really like to, get scared before they go to sleep. So if you have issues with nightmares, maybe this won't be the video for you to watch. But, I used to love ghost stories. My dad used to make them up and tell them, before we went to sleep. I mean, he was that good. Well, this one isn't made up. This one's real. So, and actually I got the idea from my buddy Ray. Shout out to Ray, who commented on the last video. But yeah, so here's what happened. And this is when I was much younger. I was probably about 3 or 4. Okay. So, and we had moved into a house, and it was weird because, and I don't know if it was just me because I was little and, moving house, because I've never liked to move. I've always had an issue with moving, and, I always kind of wanted, even now, I've lived in the same place that I live in now for about 19, 20 years almost. So yeah, I don't like moving. So that could have been part of it. But I remember when we got to this house, and it was my dad, my brother, my mom. Actually, my brother was real little at the time. He was probably a toddler yet, 1 or so. And so we move into this house, and my grandmother at one point, because I kept crying because I didn't want to be there, and she kept saying, don't cry. She called me, well, I'm going to put this out there. She used to call me Bretsy. So she'd say, Bretsy, don't cry at the new house. You're in a new house now. You don't need to cry. This is a new house. This is where you're going to be living. So for whatever reason, something was bothering me, and it's foggy, obviously, that memory. But anyway, we're there for probably a couple months. Now, here's the thing, and I do this now as an adult, but I used to wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning, and I just wouldn't be tired. So I'd get up, and I'd go into the living room. Now, as I told you in the last video, I'm completely blind and was born that way. So a lot of times you guys may have heard the term blindism. And what a blindism is actually is when somebody, well, there's a few things that we may do. Rocking, running back and forth across a familiar area of, whether it's carpet or concrete or whatever. So what I would do is I'd go out in the living room, and I'd run back and forth across this little strip of carpet that kind of went between the kitchen and the family room or whatever they call it, or the foyer area. And so I was doing this. I was running back and forth on this carpet. And all of a sudden, I kind of hear feet running next to me. And I'm going, wait a minute. Nobody should be up. Mom and dad are asleep. My brother's asleep. So who is that? So I kind of stopped, and I figured, well, maybe I'm getting myself worked up. Maybe I better go sit down on the couch. Well, as I move towards the couch, something moves over on the couch. And I heard it. It was plain as day, just as if somebody had actually slid over on the couch. Like somebody was sitting there. And then I heard a distant female voice. And it sounded like it said, did you speak to Da? And I'm going, what? Did you speak to Da? What does that mean? So at this point, again, I'm 3, 4 years old. I'm a little bit freaked out. But I'm not going to wake my parents, because that's not cool. I got myself into this. I'm going to get myself out of it. So I walk back to my room. I lay on my bed. all of a sudden, somebody walks in my room. A few minutes later, I can hear feet walking into my room. And they kind of bump up against my bed. You know, you can hear that thump, you know, when their foot hits the, their shin or whatever, kind of bumps the bed. Now, my bed was by the wall. So what they started to do is they started to tap on the bed, tap on the wall. They were tapping out a rhythm. So it was twice on the bed, once on the wall, twice on the bed, once on the wall. Dum dum da, dum dum da, dum dum da, dum dum da. So that's what they were doing. And I'm scared. I'm scared shitless. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is like, I'm going, this can't be real. And I don't know why. You know, it's not like the entity or whatever, you know, tried to hurt me or do anything. But its presence was menacing. So, needless to say, I'm laying there, terrified. I'm not moving. And meanwhile, this thing's still tap, 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 you know. So, maybe this spirit was trying to perform a very primitive version of ASMR. I don't know. But I fell asleep. And when I woke up, now this is another thing. And you guys may have known this from the past video you saw, but I have a thing for women's feet. And so I wake up, and now keep in mind, I had a twin bed, okay? So I'm laying with my head towards the foot of the bed and my feet towards the head of the bed. And on either side of me are two pairs of women's bare feet. So it's like there's two women. I'm laying between them, but I'm turned upside down. Again, this is terrifying at that time. You know, I'm freaking out. Who are these two women? Well, I can hear my mom. She's up and she's talking to the dog. We had a dog at the time named Cleo. And so she's talking. Actually, we had two dogs. One was Brutus and the other one was Cleo. So my mom comes in and she goes, "What are you doing sleeping upside down?" You know, and she's like kind of thinking it's funny. And I get off the bed and I'm like, Mom, you see those ladies? Those ladies on my bed? And she's going, "What ladies?" I'm like, "There's two ladies on my bed." So I don't know what she was thinking or if she thought I was just making stuff up. I think at the time my parents did think I was just kind of concocting this story. You know, why I would make up such a story, I don't know. But anyway, I was freaked out. So finally, you know, I get up and do my usual thing. You know, my mom gives me my breakfast, the whole bit. So we go through the day. Well, the next night, I don't want to sleep in my room. And she's like, "It's okay. Nobody's sleeping in there." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's somebody sleeping in my room. There's two women in my room." And she goes, "No, there's nobody in your room." So the next night, without incident, nothing happened. But a couple nights later, kind of similar stuff, you know, where I'd hear somebody walk in the room and either stand by the bed or lay across the bed. And this happened to me over, I'd say, from about 3 to about 11. So from 3 years old to about 11, I would get these sporadic visits from these female entities. You know, I think there were probably two. Sometimes one of them would just come. There was one time where I'm laying in bed and I hear the person come in the room and climb across. So I'm laying vertically in the bed. The person's laying across my legs horizontally. And, you know, at that time, I used to lay on my stomach. So the person's laying across my legs on top of the covers. And it's a very strange feeling. It's like a cold, prickly feeling. So you can feel that there's something there, but it doesn't quite, it feels like a body mass, but isn't quite a body mass. It's weird. Like if I were to, you know, drive something through the cover into the thing on top of the cover, it would probably go through. So it wouldn't hit bone or anything. Like this thing didn't feel like it had bone.